On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers were crushed by the Miami Dolphins, and this game came down to two things: the offensive line and Brian Allen. Now, Brian Allen was signed on Saturday and pressed into service on Sunday. So the first thing the Dolphins are going to do is identify where is he lining up and how can we attack him. And here, the Dolphins decide to test him deep on the first play of the game. And right away, we see some of the things the 49ers might like about Brian Allen. He goes stride for stride with the receiver, but here he mistimes his jump. You can see where the ball is, and he's in no position to contest the catch. Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a very experienced quarterback. He's played almost 150 games and has over 200 touchdown passes. So he's going to know how to attack your weaknesses. And look at that ball he throws to the outside shoulder of the wide receiver. Allen had no chance. Now, this is later on in the same drive. The Dolphins just hand the ball off, and Allen is in an excellent position to make the tackle here. But he reaches his hand up behind the nameplate and pulls the running back down backwards. Now, you can't do that. That's a penalty. That's a horse collar tackle. And look how awkwardly the running back falls. This is a very dangerous type of tackle, and this is why it is illegal in the NFL. And it's a personal foul penalty against the 49ers. And the Dolphins punch it in the next play. So, right away on the first drive, we see that Allen's been responsible for two pretty big plays that have cost the 49ers, and the Dolphins are going to be looking for him every time now. Allen's a little bit sus. The truth is, the Dolphins have identified him as an imposter. Now, Allen is big and tall and fast, and here we see him running stride for stride again, but he never turns around and looks for the ball. Maybe with some development, he could be a player, but he was absolutely thrown to the wolves on Sunday, and it showed. All Fitzpatrick has to do is throw it up, and his receiver can go up and get the ball over Allen pretty reliably. All right, this is later on in the game, and one of the few times the 49ers were able to stop the Dolphins on third down. And there's Allen making the tackle. But the receiver almost got out of it there. So the Dolphins are going to continue looking for Allen on every play. Now at the bottom of the screen, we see Jason Verrett, who's allowed only 4 catches for 24 yards all year for the 49ers. He's having a great season. So the Dolphins identify Allen at the top, and you can pretty much guess what happens next. Richard Sherman, injured. Emmanuel Mosley, injured. K'Wan Williams, injured. Ahkello Witherspoon. We'll get to that. But this is why Allen was forced to start after being signed the day before. Now, I'm not here to dog Allen personally, so please, don't be one of those guys that goes to his Twitter page and gives him a hard time. It's clear that he's in over his head here. But with one day of preparation, what do you expect? Now, they move him to the bottom, but Fitzpatrick is going to find him. And here he doesn't get his head around in time again, crashes into the receiver, and it's an obvious pass interference call. Now here we are going to talk about one of the bright spots for the 49ers this season. Kerry Hyder Jr. from Detroit is having a great year. And here, look at him lay out, and he gets the sack on Ryan Fitzpatrick. So now the Dolphins are going to have a 3rd and goal from the 22-yard line. And here, I think this is an inexcusable play call from defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. With the 3rd and 22, the 49ers really should be sticking all of their players back in the end zone here. Now, if the Dolphins complete a pass in the middle of the field, that's fine. They'll kick the field goal. If they don't complete the pass, they'll kick the field goal. What you don't want is to give up a touchdown here. That's why I say the Niners need to be defending the end zone. But here, inexplicably, they're guarding the middle of the field and leaving Brian Allen one-on-one on an island by himself on the outside when they know he's in over his head. This was a big mistake by Robert Saleh, in my opinion. Now here you see Allen by himself dejected out of the back of the end zone, and you really just can't help but feel bad for the kid. He worked so hard for this opportunity, and he was thrown into a situation where he wasn't ready. And it makes you wonder, why did the 49ers put him in that position? Because after this play, he was pulled from the game, and Akella Witherspoon came in to relieve him. Well, why wasn't Witherspoon the one starting in the first place? The answer is because Witherspoon has a hamstring injury, and as of Saturday, he was not ready to play. That's why the 49ers signed Allen on Saturday. But after seeing what was going on, Witherspoon did let the coaches know, look, I can play on an emergency basis if you need me. And they put him in the game on such a basis. It's also worth noting that the 49ers have Ken Webster on the roster as well. It's been suggested that the 49ers coaches felt that Allen was actually a better choice than Webster. And based on the decision the coaches made, I would tend to agree with that assessment. The good news, if you're a 49ers fan, is that this is a problem that is going to be very easy to fix. The fix is obviously just to get somebody more experienced in the cornerback role for next week's game. Now, we mentioned Richard Sherman's out on injury. Emmanuel Mosley has a concussion that he hasn't recovered from yet, but he is seeing a specialist. And I think it's likely Witherspoon will be able to give it a go. Now, that's one side of the coin. The other side of the equation is that the 49ers offensive line was an absolute disaster on Sunday. Here you see Dan Brunskill and Mike McGlinchey blocking the same guy, leaving nobody to pick up the late blitzer over the middle. Garoppolo has to rush his throw, and the pass is incomplete. Okay, it's early in the game. Maybe it's just a communication error. Understandable. But let's look at the next play. Here, Garoppolo is absolutely crushed by the pass rush. Not something you want to see for a quarterback coming off an ankle injury. What happened? Here, Trent Williams, the left tackle, makes a big mistake. He hits his guy and releases him, thinking he has help to the inside, and then turns to block no one as Garoppolo gets creamed. And then at the end of the play, he puts his hand up going, oh, was I supposed to block that guy? Now, we know Trent Williams is talented. This isn't a question of talent. You could have 5 of the most talented offensive linemen out there, and they could still be terrible. Because offensive line play is about chemistry way more than it is about talent. You must have good communication. That was a miscommunication on that play. So why do the 49ers not have the chemistry they had last year? Well, for one thing, Trent Williams is a different player than Joe Staley. For another thing, their center, Weston Richburg, is hurt. So Ben Garland has to move over from right guard to be the center. Now you're putting Dan Brunskill in at right guard. And with all these moving parts, it makes the communication that much more difficult. These guys have to develop the chemistry. And it can take a good offensive line a year to get that chemistry down. So it's no surprise that the 49ers are having some communication issues. But even still, this is especially bad. Now, there were some cases where 49ers offensive linemen were beat individually on the play, and this is one of them. Here, Laken Tomlinson gets beat to the inside, and there's a bit of a snowball effect as the rest of the offensive line collapses. Here we see another free runner coming at Garoppolo. Again, he has to rush his throw, and he's very fortunate that that one wasn't intercepted. Let's go back to the snap. Again, McGlinchey and the tight end George Kittle double-teamed the defensive end, failing to recognize that there's going to be a late blitzer coming over the middle. There's nobody to block him, and Garoppolo can barely even get his feet set before he has to get this ball out of his hands. And here we get to the play that I believe is the reason Garoppolo was unable to continue in this game. Garoppolo is absolutely crushed by a blindside hit, and he's hurt. Look at him, he's down. 49ers very fortunate that Garoppolo was not seriously injured on this play. Let's take another look. Now here the 49ers fake a run, so they want the linebackers to pursue on this play, and it will be the responsibility of Ross Dwelley to protect Garoppolo's blind side in pass protection. But Van Ginkel absolutely smokes Dwelley here and destroys Garoppolo. That was a really bad play, one that you never want to see happen to your quarterback. And take a look, like I said, he is hurt. This play looks very similar. Well, I don't even know if I should show it. Or I'm going to show it. Don't be mad at me for showing it. Don't those two plays look similar? Take a look. In fact, I can even show them to you side by side here. Ouch. Now we know how devastating that hit was to Montana's career. You can't let that happen to your quarterback. All right, now this is the very next play. It's a 3rd and 14, so you got to call a pass here. And this ball is way off. Let's go back to the snap. Now, like I said, this is the very next play, and I think we have to give some recognition to Jerick McKinnon for saving the life, possibly literally, of Jimmy Garoppolo here. He comes all the way to the other side of the formation to pick up a blitzer. Look at this. Now, watch Jimmy Garoppolo's feet here. Understandably, he gets happy feet. He does not properly set them, rushes his throw, and this throw is way off. Okay, next drive, and the 49ers are facing another 3rd and long. Now, there's lots of problems with this play that we'll talk about, but here Garoppolo throws an interception way down the field. Now again, the 49ers allow a free rusher here. Garoppolo is able to move him with a pump fake, but just fires the ball out of there. And look at his mechanics. These are terrible. It's very clear to me that he was rattled by that big hit, to say the least. Now, the other problem with this play is you don't typically want to take a deep shot with your slow running back. Very curious that the 49ers sent Jerick McKinnon deep on this play. All right, next drive, and the 49ers are facing yet another 3rd and long. Garoppolo throws another bad interception, and it is clear that he is not right physically. Again, watch his feet. He does not set them, and he actually has a receiver wide open here, Deebo Samuel, but because his technique was off, the ball sails on him, and it's picked. So once again, we are left with the question, where do the 49ers go from here? Well, I think it's clearly going to depend on Garoppolo's health. Not only with that high ankle sprain, but also if there's any effects from that crushing hit he suffered. It was clear that after that hit is when his play declined in this game. And once again, the 49ers are facing something of a must-win on Sunday against their division rival, the Rams, on Sunday Night Football. And when Garoppolo left this game, C.J. Beathard came in and he did not perform well. He only completed 50% of his passes. So everything that we have discussed in the past on this channel in regards to C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins, and Jimmy Garoppolo is completely up in the air at this point. It could be C.J. Beathard starting on Sunday. It could be Nick Mullins. It could be Jimmy Garoppolo. I think we're all hoping it's Garoppolo, but his health has to be a concern. Now, for the offensive line, they need to have a coming to Jesus moment. There's just no other way to say it. They must get their stuff together. They have to figure out the communication and the chemistry, and they have to figure it out fast, or this season is going to go right down the tubes. And with the 49ers secondary, like I said, that's an easy fix. Hopefully Akella Witherspoon can come back, and Richard Sherman suffered a setback this week, so he'll be out a little while longer. But if Emmanuel Mosley can come back too, that gives them some pretty good depth there at that position. I'm not too worried about the defense. The defense has played real well all year. They just got torched on Sunday. All right, everybody. Let's hope for the best, plan for the worst. Well, I don't want to say it like that. Let's just hope for the best. I want to thank all my new subscribers. You guys are great. Obviously, it takes a long time to make a video like this. If you could give me just 10 seconds and click that like button, I would really appreciate it. It's going to be Niners-Rams on Sunday Night Football. I will see you guys after that game.